Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be working in my mixed media journal and creating a colour themed spread. So I'm just going to show you some of the supplies I've picked out of my stash and that I'll be working with today. As you've probably guessed, I'm going to be creating a blue journal page, and I'm really excited as this is part of a rainbow journaling hop. Daisy from My Green Cow has organised this, and there are 6 other wonderful creators who are creating a journal spread too, each based on a different colour, so there are 7 of us in total, each with a colour from the rainbow. If you've not heard of a hop before, then you'll find a link in my video description below which links to the very talented Helen's video from Journal with Purpose, and she's done an indigo spread. So you can click the link to watch her video, and then she'll have a link to the next creator's video doing the next colour, and then you can follow the links to hop to all the different channels, so it's an amazing way to find other wonderful creatives. And we all have really different journaling styles, so it's a perfect way to find different inspiration. So I'm just going through a few bits which, like I said, I pulled from my stash, and not all of it was blue because I thought I might use some bits that broke up the colour. So I pulled out some postcards and some book pages, and I'm just flicking through this little letter word sticker book from Tim Holtz's Ideology. I never really know how to use those because I usually have a quote in mind, and I've also got a few photos here. I don't always use photos in this journal, so I'm just going to see how the process goes. I'm not using any paint or mixed media in this spread, I'm just using Collage, but I also pulled out a few pens just so I can add a little bit of texture or add any writing I need to. And then I've got my Pritt stick, double-sided tape, scissors, this new stamp which I got from AliExpress, and then I also pulled out those little jewels which are from Paper Chase. So this is the journal which I'm working in. This is actually a sketchbook from Hobbycraft. It's in A5 size, but the fact that it's a sketchbook means the paper is really nice and thick and really durable, so when I do use paint in this journal, it works really well. I've popped it onto super speed just so then you're not super bored, because this took about 40 minutes I think in total to create this spread. And these beautiful pictures are taken from a Breathe magazine. They did a feature on photography, and there was a lot of night sky photography, and I just thought it was really pretty, so I harvested the magazine. It's quite old, from a few years ago, but I'm starting to use up more of my supplies instead of just having them set on the shelf, and they were just so pretty I had to use them in this spread. So I started using double-sided, but then switched to Pritt stick just because I find that when I am sticking things in this journal, I like it to be kind of repositionable if I do make a mistake, and with double-sided, if you stick it in and it's not quite lined up right, then there's no going back. So I add in this thick washi tape, that's also from AliExpress. I've got a little haul coming up soon. I'm just waiting for another order to arrive. And yeah, just taking those bits and cutting them down from the Breathe magazine. I used a ruler there just to create a little bit of texture on the edge, although I do end up covering that up. I never have any plans with these journal spreads. I just kind of go with it and see what I feel like works and add things and take things away. So you can see I'm toying with the idea of adding a photo, which is of my old cat Loki. But in the end I like the contrast with the grey, which was from a Nostalgic Postcard set. So not an actual real postcard, though I do have some in my stash. And then this really nice dark blue which adds a bit of contrast, and that's like a painted texture piece. Then these tiny little ones are on vellum, and again that's from AliExpress, which will be in, I got it in the same haul, which I'll link in the cards, which I've already done a video on. But they're really pretty. I've not used those before in anywhere except my journal, but it just adds an extra layer, and although I glued those down with Pritt stick, I also add some washi tape along the top. This is a new stamp which I got of these little birds, and that just worked really well. Although it's over the ocean, it kind of looks like a sky, so I added those down there. And with all new stamps, I always run a eraser over the top of it just to condition it, so then it holds the ink a bit better, but I always do a test stamp first just to check that it looks okay. So I almost used the silver washi tape along the edge, but I thought it was too samey, so I used one of the other washi tapes from that little box that came all together and added that down the side. And I also covered the back of that postcard with another piece, which is just like a really nice vibrant blue, and I did use double-sided tape for that just because it's from a glossy magazine, that one, and not from the Breathe magazine, which is all matte. So I was just looking through those Tim Holtz word stickers, but I find it hard to create a full-on quote, so I just popped on my computer quickly and printed off the quote which I wanted, and I looked up on Pinterest just some starry night quotes, and then I printed it out in 2 different font sizes just because I wasn't quite sure what size I wanted it, but I did go with the smaller one in the end. And then I kind of like faked the tiny word look by just cutting up the paper small and into individual words and then adding them onto the left hand side of the spread. And this says, "Let the stars guide me home." And I just think that works really nicely with that background. And I don't always add text onto my spreads, so usually it's just a visual, like a really nice experiment for me just to add collage and add little bits. But sometimes I do like to add quotes and things, so on the back of this tip-in, I'm just putting a lighter shade of blue where I can just write on top of, because that is from the Breathe magazine, so it is matte, although I'll probably use biro pen just to make sure that it sits okay on the top. It felt like something was missing, so I added in the stamp because I have so many stamps, and that tied in a bit more blue and another shade of it. And then to add a little bit of texture, I just used this silver pen along the bottom and just doodle around the page. So that's the final spread, and then like I said, I can add some journaling behind that little tip-in, just as an extra little interactive bit on the spread, which you know I all like to do. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching my video and seeing my blue spread come together. I've not done a monochromatic spread before, so it was really fun to do. And like I said earlier, this is part of the Rainbow Hop, so please do click on the link in the description to go watch Helen's video, and I hope you enjoy seeing all the other people's colourful spreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. See you later.